And good evening from Bramlage Coliseum in Manhattan. High atop Bramlage Coliseum tonight. You know it's a packed house for the meet and everything. When you got your boy up by the power, you can see the number up on the wall. I'm way upstairs tonight, baby. But that means I had a great view of a fabulous basketball game tonight at the Octagon of Doom. Maybe a season saver for the Kansas State Wildcats as they snap a 4-game losing streak as they beat the Kansas Jayhawks tonight 75-70 in overtime. For K-State, it is the first time they have won back-to-back games at home over KU since 2014 and 2015. Of course, they beat them in overtime here last year. And if you learn nothing else from this video tonight, let it be this. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit in the wind. You don't pull the mask off the Lone Ranger. You don't mess around with Jim, and you don't play Jerome Tang's Kansas State Wildcats in overtime, because K-State is now 6-0 in overtime games this year. That's a Division I men's basketball record for overtime wins in a season. We still got a month to go in the regular season. So that's 6 wins in overtime this year and 11-0 in Jerome Tang's year and a half plus in charge of the Wildcats. K-State got to overtime, and they knew what to do, and they took care of business in earning the victory tonight. Let's get to it. We're going to break this down. We appreciate all of you tuning in, checking it out tonight on the WIBW News Facebook page. We are also on Twitter at 580 Sports Talk. We're on our YouTube page as well, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Subscribe. You can catch all the videos live and archived. Maybe some of you will watch this tomorrow morning. Maybe some of you went to bed after this one. If you're a KU fan, you went to bed, I don't blame you. Might be sleep hard to come by tonight because that was a frustrating game for KU. And we'll get to them in a second. But I'm going to start with K-State because you start with the winners in a game like this. And when you're starting with K-State, you got to start with the very real phenomenon that is second half Tylor Perry. We have been frustrated throughout the year by Perry's seeming inability to get things going in the first half. The better part of the first half tonight, he didn't score. He ended up with 5 first half points. He finished tonight with 26. You could do some math on that. And of those 26 included a tip in to tie the game in the final minute and change of regulation that I can't believe he got a hand on. It looked like Hunter Dickinson or Kevin McCullough put the ball in their own basket. Perry got credit with the bucket. That tied the game. And then Perry with a fabulous circus shot to beat the shot clock, give K-State the lead in overtime. That was, as it turned out, the last lead change of the night. And then he hit a 3 right after that, and he made some clutch free throws down the stretch. 26 for Perry tonight on 7 of 15 shooting, made 4 of 10 threes, 8 of 9 for the free throw line. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, didn't come off the floor. Not a perfect player. He's not going to be an All-American like Marquise Noel was last year. He's not the creator, the distributor that Kansas State has needed at times. But you sometimes can focus too much on what a player is not. And on a night like tonight, I think we got to focus on what Tylor Perry is. And what Tylor Perry is a kid who's not afraid of the moment, not afraid to take the big shot, and has not been afraid to grab the team by the scruff of the neck and drag them across the finish line. And that's what he did tonight. 21 points in the second half in overtime. Second half Tylor Perry. If I could vote for just second half Tylor Perry for Big 12 All-Conference, I would. I would do that. I would find a way. He was terrific again down the stretch for K-State tonight. Cam Carter, double-double for the Wildcats, 19 points, 11 rebounds. I'm going to do a quick check and see if that might be his first of the season. It was emblematic of an effort. K-State knew they had to be better on the boards in this game, and they were. They were really good. It's his second double-double of the year. Had one against Oral Roberts. So second double-double of the year, first in Big 12 play for Cam Carter. K-State ended up out-rebounding KU 43-33, plus 10 on the glass. That was huge. They don't win this game without it. And Carter's efforts really emblematic of that. Arthur Kaluma, 13 points, 8 rebounds. Not his best game, but I'll tell you what, he made some hustle plays down the stretch. Game doesn't go to overtime without him. He had a big steal and a second chance bucket late in the second half that helped get the game. Actually gave K-State the lead briefly before KU tied it and sent it to overtime. Not Kaluma's best game, but he still finished in double figures. I want to talk about the bigs for K-State tonight because they had probably the toughest matchup that they're going to have over the course of the Big 12 season in trying to handle Hunter Dickinson. When I say biggest, I mean that quite literally. A guy 7'2". But Jarrell Colbert, Will McNair, and David Gasson were up for it tonight. McNair didn't start. Second straight game he hasn't started. He played 29 minutes. He ended up playing the most minutes of any of the bigs. And he's physically the biggest, the bulkiest. And I think having him down there to hammer on Dickinson maybe wore Hunter out by the time the game was over. McNair was a minus 15 in the plus minus, though. I just don't think he's not the best defender of the group. That's definitely Colbert, and then Gasson is the most switchable of the defenders. But the effort from Will McNair, you could fault. He was working hard out there, and they needed that. Gasson, healthy after having his playing time cut short due to injury on Saturday, plays 26 minutes. He was a plus 16, 5 points, 7 rebounds, great hustle plays on both ends. K-State's a better team when David Gasson plays a lot. They just are, like, on both ends, even though he's not a great scorer and oftentimes tries to do a little bit too much with the basketball when he has it in his hands, and I'd like to see him throttle back on a bit. He is a player that is really, really useful to them. His length, his switchability on the perimeter defensively. K-State's a much better defensive team in the instances where Gasson is on the floor. And then Jarrell Colbert, only 16 minutes, didn't score. He was plus 21 tonight. Colbert set a tone, I thought, for the game for Kansas State. He blocked Hunter Dickinson's first shot attempt of the night. That was a pretty clear signal that it wasn't going to be as easy to score as KU had found it against the best defensive team in the country in Houston on Saturday. Colbert is a guy, Jerome Tang talked about him in his post-game radio interview. He's not physically ready to play a bunch of minutes yet. They're still trying to get his conditioning up, and he's still kind of learning how to feel the game. That was the way that Jerome Tang phrased it. But I think Jarrell Colbert's going to be a real good one. He's the best shot blocker. He can get off the floor. He can rebound. He can be physical. And I thought what he brought, even if it wasn't in the stat sheet, was really, really good tonight. So that's my impression to K-State. We'll move to KU. Obviously, huge win for K-State, a game they had to have, snap that 4-game losing streak. I'm not really bothered by this one long-term if I'm KU, because it doesn't tell you anything about this team that you didn't already know. KU is at its best when its starting 5 plays really, really well. Tonight, 4 of their starting 5 played pretty well. Johnny Furphy was a 0. And when Johnny Furphy is a 0, when you're not getting anything out of that 5th starter spot, that's when KU has gotten beat, when they haven't had great performances from their starting 5. And tonight they didn't get a great performance. Furphy really didn't give them anything at all. I think he finished the night with just 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting. He played 38 minutes. And he was a ghost. He just wasn't as effective on either end. We didn't see him playing with the same kind of energy. Freshman player, short turnaround from Saturday to Monday, going on the road. Not surprised he didn't have a lot of life in his legs. But their ceiling goes up, KU's, when Furphy's really good, and he'll be better. He'll bounce back. There's no doubt about that. But tough game for him tonight. Tough game for Kevin McCullough tonight. 6 of 18, 1 of 5 at the free throw line. Went to the line with a chance to tie it in overtime and missed the front end of a 1-and-1. McCullough didn't play last Tuesday, just about a week ago against Oklahoma State. Played really well, I thought, Saturday against Houston, but didn't feel like he had his legs. Didn't feel like he had his legs tonight. Hunter Dickinson, 21 points, 12 rebounds. He led in both categories for Kansas, but he was 8 of 18 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. A lot of chippies, just kind of missed. How college basketball is it that KU on Saturday shoots 69% from the field against Houston, the best defensive team in the country? Tonight, 41% from the field, 28 of 68. That's their worst mark in any Big 12 game this season. Only game they shot worse in was the Marquette game. And to be honest, I didn't have an issue with KU's shot quality. I thought they would move the ball fine like they always do. And I thought that they got good shots around the rim. And some of them just didn't go in tonight. And that's the rub of the green. That's basketball. So for me, I don't see anything from KU that we didn't already know about them, that they got 4 starters who are veterans, who are really, really good. But if any one of them doesn't play great, they can be had on the road, just like UCF got them, just like West Virginia got them, just like Iowa State got them. And now, just like K-State has gotten them. The other factor tonight was not just field goal shooting, 3-point shooting. I said on 580 Sports Talk, I thought K-State had to make a lot of threes. They were 9 of 26 from behind the arc. KU just 3 of 14. So that was a big edge in that department to Kansas State in this game. But credit K-State. They made it hard on KU for 45 minutes, played with desperation. This was always a KU fans might have called it a trap game, the spot game, maybe if you're a gambler or if you're a neutral fan, to say short turnaround, emotional home win for KU. Now you got to go on the road and play your big rival in a game that they have to have, because K-State loses this game, the margin for error for them to make the NCAA tournament pretty much whittles to 0. But now they're 5-5 in the league, and all they have to do is protect home floor the rest of the way to get to 9 wins in the conference, which is probably NCAA tournament caliber. All they have to do is protect their home floor. They've got TCU, BYU, West Virginia, Iowa State left. I don't think any of those are not winnable for Kansas State. Then their road games, they go to BYU Saturday. They're a ranked team. Then they go to Texas. They go to Cincinnati, and then they go to Allen Fieldhouse. They're not winning at Allen Fieldhouse. I'll tell you that right this second. What they've done that one time in 30 years, I don't think I'm breaking any ground with that particular analysis. But it feels like it's back on again, the pursuit of an NCAA tournament berth. K-State got one that they had to have. KU, I mean, this maybe hurts their Big 12 regular season championship chances, but again, I don't think we learned anything new about them tonight, and I wouldn't be real discouraged if I were a KU fan. Just one of those nights where the ball wouldn't go in the basket, and one of those nights where you had a freshman on a short turnaround on the road not give you what you needed, the thing that has really taken KU to another level when Furphy has been at his best. So I don't mean to dismiss Kansas State as an opponent by saying KU losing to them is not a big deal. It was a very big deal to everyone in this building, no question about it. But I think just in terms of perception, in terms of long view, what's possible for KU, my mind isn't changed. I still think they are at their best a national championship caliber team, but we have seen what it looks like when they're not at their best. We saw it in Orlando, we saw it in Ames, we saw it in Morgantown, and we saw it tonight in Manhattan. One thing we didn't see, in my final thought, we did not see a court storm tonight. I was here last year, same seat, just about, give or take, back to the wall here at the Octagon of Doom, when Jerome Tang jumped on the public address mic after the game with all the students and fans out on the court at Bramlage Coliseum, and he said, "We got you one court storm. From now on, expect to win." Now, maybe not everybody remembered that extortion from last year. It sure looked like a student body ready to come out on the playing surface, but the coaches held them back, said, no, we're not going to do that. We're above that. We're different now. We're a different program. Expect to win. And that's what Kansas has done. Kansas State is maybe now making a habit out of this. First time they've won back-to-back games against KU at home since 2014 and 2015. 75-70 is the final score. K-State improves to 15-8. They are 5-5 in the Big 12. KU is 18-5, 6-4 in Big 12 play. KU hosts Baylor, another tough game, but it's at Allen Fieldhouse. You'd certainly pick KU to bounce back with an extra day's rest, having played on Big Monday. K-State, another big one on the road against 21st ranked BYU. If they can get out of the Marriott Center with a win, if they can play with the love and the joy that Jerome Tang said he saw in his players, then maybe it's tournament chase back on, season back on for these Kansas State Wildcats. Fun game tonight. Thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate the comment section. Good to hear from y'all. Mark, Goober Train hanging out. Barbara, hope I'm not keeping any of you up past your bedtime. MPM, my guy Al, appreciate you, Al. Thanks for hanging out in the YouTube chat. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out on the Facebook Live. Thanks for hanging out on Twitter. And get to bed. It's late. I got a long drive ahead of me. I'm wrapping this thing up. This has been an instant reaction on 580 Sports Talk's YouTube and Twitter and the WIBW News Facebook account. I'm Dan Lucero. Have a good night from the happiest place on earth.